Hey everybody, Blue Goblin here with a special movie review of Deadpool. Oh man, this movie was awesome. Really loved it. It was fun, and it was the right kind of movie for what it was. Now, keep in mind, there will be some minor spoilers in here. In fact, let me wear this right. It just felt weird doing it that way. But there will be minor spoilers in this, so you have been warned. But this was a perfect representation of what a Deadpool movie should be. I knew going into this, before I even saw this movie, I knew this movie was going to succeed based on one thing. Literally anything they did would have been better than the whole Barakapool incident that we suffered through with X-Men Origins Wolverine. Literally anything they would have done would have been better than what we had previously endured. And you got to know Ryan Reynolds had a blast doing this movie. You have to know that. You have to believe that. This was really good. This even probably could crack my top 5 list of comic book movies of all time. This was fun. It was great. It was violent. It was rated R. Usually, I can understand where some people would say, comic book movies should not be rated R. This needed to be. With this kind of a character, it needed to be an R-rated movie. It just had to be. You couldn't do it any other way. You couldn't push it any further, and you sure as hell couldn't tone it down. Not with this character. It needed to be an R-rated movie. It needed to be what it was. This was phenomenal. An awesome job. And I can also agree with some people who think that this movie was a love letter to Joe Kelly's style of storytelling when it comes to Deadpool. I absolutely agree with that. This did feel like a homage to Joe Kelly, which is the quintessential Deadpool writer. I may not collect a bunch of Deadpool comics, but you give me a Deadpool comic written by Joe Kelly, I'm there. Because nobody can write that character better than he can. Victor Gischler's done a good job with him. We got Deadpool comics all over the place over here, but I'm not jumping up and down ready to buy them because most of the Deadpool comics that we get nowadays focus too heavily on the silliness and the fourth wall breaking. That's not entirely who Deadpool is. Remember, he's a mercenary. He's a very good fighter. He's vicious. He's cruel. Yes, he's an asshole. But he's not always so goddamn silly, and this movie properly showcased it. I also agree with people who think that parents shouldn't have brought their children to see that. I mean, this really, unless you think your kids can handle it, I'm not really gonna judge. If you think your kids can handle it, if you brought your kids to this movie and you knew what they were in for, and you think it's not going to cause them any harm to see movies like this, then that's fine. But for all those parents who are bitching and griping about Deadpool being so violent, you knew before you went into this movie was rated R, and you knew why it was. So if you want to blame anybody, blame yourselves because you knew what you were bringing your kids to. What else did you expect from a rated R movie? You knew you was going to get excessive language. You knew you was going to get graphic violence. You knew you was going to get nudity. Yes, this movie has boobies. Minor spoiler there. But this was good. I liked how they did tweak some things. The opening credits scene was hilarious. Everything, a lot of this stuff was hilarious. I can't remember the last time I had this much fun at a movie theater. The place was packed. We got there at the right time. We got there good and early to make it there. So many goddamn trailers. But when we got there, that place was packed. It was packed full, and there were lines that I didn't get to catch because the audience was too busy laughing. This movie was good, and One thing I really loved in this movie was Colossus. They got Colossus nailed perfectly. When I saw what I saw in there, I saw Colossus. I didn't see that piece of shit we had in X2 and X3. This was Colossus. Pietro Rasputin. You know, the Russian X-Men. Just really good. Negasonic was also a really good character. I loved all the little Easter eggs and the winks and the nods and the kind of jokes and everything. But I wouldn't be me and I wouldn't be an internet nerd if I didn't nitpick a few things. One, like I said earlier, too many goddamn trailers. Wow, it was like nearly a half hour's worth of trailers, and when the movie finally started, I was like, shit, finally. The Stan Lee cameo, I didn't like it. It was not necessary. That shtick has gotten way past old. I mean, oh, it's Marvel. Stan Lee's got to make a cameo in every movie. I would prefer Stan Lee to make cameos in movies that supports characters that he made. Last time I checked, he didn't make Deadpool. You know, Fabian and Liefeld, they made Deadpool. But, you know, it's Marvel, it's Stan Lee, la 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 la. But that gag, that shtick, it needs to stop. I'm sick of it, to be perfectly honest. With all due respect to Stan Lee, I love Stan Lee. I'm forever grateful to Stan Lee for all the legendary characters he's given us. But enough. Enough with the Stan Lee cameos. It's not necessary anymore. We get it. We get it, Marvel. You love this motherfucker. But yeah, great movie. Lots of fun. Lots of violence. Really well done. Not much else to say except boobies. You know, there was some love story in there. There was some good action. All kinds of stuff. And I'll be goddamned if I'm not a Wham fan now. It's like another minor spoiler in there. But all kinds of Easter eggs. Really good ones. Some that made you go, and some that made you just go, oh, just awesome. Really good movie. I loved the ending. The ending was just, you know, one of those kinds of endings, but in a good way. You know, it's like you think they're going to take the character somewhere, and then, it's just nice, just nicely done. And they also utilized the slow motion shots right. And they even made fun of them at some points. It's just really good stuff. I loved this movie. I really did. On a scale of 1 to 5, I give it a 4.5. Damn near perfect. There were a few things I wasn't particularly fond of, but you know, mainly the Stan Lee cameo. That was the thing that bugged me more than anything else. Let's see what. There was something else that I thought, you know, could have been done a little bit better, but you know, this movie was so good, I'm actually having trouble remembering what it was I didn't like about this movie. The cab driver was fucking awesome. I love that guy. He was so funny. He seemed to click really well with Deadpool. Kill him. That was great stuff. But fucking awesome movie. I guarantee you, when you get out of the theater and you're on your way back home, you're going to be talking about this movie and you're going to be saying the word fuck a lot. Thanks, Wade, you fucker. So there's my review for Deadpool, the movie. Thanks for watching, everybody. And this is Blue Goblin signing off, reminding you, always jerk off that unicorn. See you later.